Hello everyone. So I just got the algae from Algae Research Supply, and I actually just added it to the incubator. But I have a small sample that I'm using as a to count. This way, I know how much I've actually put in there. I've taken a sample of what came in, and I'm going to actually use a hemocytometer to count it. Now, a hemocytometer is a as you can see here, it's this thing right here. See, it has little squares etched in the glass, and what that allows you to do is you put whatever your sample is, and then you put a slide over it. You put it in the microscope, and then you count how many are in the squares, and based on that, you're able to actually get a count of how many cells are in there. You could do, and the reason it's called a hemocytometer is because it's actually originally used just to do blood cell counts, but you can do any sort of cell counts at all, whether it's algae or anything. Now, first, what I got to do is I got to get 10 microliters. I'm going to take 10 microliters of the sample, and then I'm going to squeeze it up in underneath the slide. The way you actually do it is you actually take the slide cover and you put it on top of the hemocytometer, and then using capillary action. Gotta make sure the sample is shaped well so that all the contents are evenly distributed. But using capillary action, the cells are actually sucked up into the hemocytometer. I prefer to use both sides of the hemocytometer to get a more accurate count. Okay, so hopefully that worked. And now I'm going to put it underneath the microscope. I think the sound was the microphone was really far away, so hopefully the sound wasn't too bad. As you can see, hopefully you can see the etchings. Now, one thing I do is I use this thing here. It's just a cell counter. It's the same thing you see at like the amusement parks where they keep track of who's coming in. And then I just go through and I count how many I see within the box. Now, the way I do it is I don't count anything that's crossing. When I look at a box, I don't count anything that's crossing the bottom or the bottom or the right side. I only count the top and the left. So when I go to the next box, I don't double count. Now, one thing I've done is I've actually created a Arduino-based, hopefully, anyways, an Arduino-based way to count the algae without having to put it under the microscope. Essentially, using a almost like a spectrometer, but not really. Using how much light is absorbed by the sample, and that's assuming it works. I don't know if it will. The idea, like I actually ordered the circuit board that because I prototyped it on a breadboard, and then I designed it and I ordered it. So hopefully once I put that together, it actually works. And then I would have to calibrate it, and then of course test it out to see if the calibration stays and that it's accurate. I would have to do multiple counts until I was comfortable enough knowing that the count is um, within a margin of error of that's acceptable. Now I got a count of 82, and there's actually a formula that you use, which I don't have offhand, but there's a formula you use because the under the if you imagine there's the square, and it's a 4x4 square. In that square is a certain volume of fluid, so you can then, based on the count, you can essentially plug it into a formula, and you'll get 1,000 per milliliter, 1,000 cells per milliliter, or whatever the volume is. And the thing is, if you get a really high amount of cells in a sample where it would be too crowded, you can actually dilute your sample, let's say by 10, and now all you have to do is multiply that count by 10. And that's how they do blood counts, blood cell counts. That's how they do like sperm counts, things like that. Is essentially the same exact way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to record this, and I'm going to be able to tell how much what the number of cells are. So essentially right now I have the algae in the incubator back there, and I did the count, and that's it for now. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool experiments with this algae, growth experiments. I'll be administering different types of hormones and comparing the reaction to those hormones, and all sorts of other stuff. So make sure to subscribe if you aren't yet, and follow along.